Blast me to Bermuda! It's time for the Mad Merlins unboxing of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium. Final delivery by Hachette Partworks and Games Workshop. Woohoo! Hello everyone and welcome back to the Mad Merlins Warhammer 40,000 Imperium journey. And we are here with the final unboxing for our final delivery. Yes, it's took us quite a while now, close to 2 years, but we are at the end of Imperium with our last delivery, and we have inside some fantastic models. I've already received my 2 extra copies I ordered of the Redemptor Dreadnought, so I'll be painting up probably 1 to 2 for my Crimson Fists, and I got 1 spare left over to decide its fate at a later date. So before we get into anything, don't forget to, of course, like this video if you are enjoying the content. And of course, why not also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it's the only way you'll keep up to date with all my mad content. Content, I must admit, has been a bit low lately. I've been a combination of either too busy or not enough energy to do what I want to do. Plus, it is starting to warm up here in the UK. What? Warm up in the UK? Yes, I know. It's strange, but it is happening. So my normal filming studio is a little bit overheating at the moment. So I try to do as much as I can in the evening, which due to low energy results in not a lot, as I tend to be spending most of my time catching up on sleep that I've been somehow losing. But we have it. Don't worry, there will be plenty of content. After this, I've got 2 more unboxings I'm filming. Then I'll probably try and do a Merlin Mumbles just to help catch everybody up just before I start filming my remaining Imperium. We've only got 3 issues of Imperium Battle Report left to film. So 78 sees the Overlord on the command barge hit the battlefield. Then 79... we have yet again another big battle. Before 80, we have Illuminor arriving and bringing his mighty powers and prowess to the battlefields. But until then, we have this to look through. We've got some awesome new models to build, and that campaign is going to be fun to do. I'm definitely working out something a little bit special for that, so do stay tuned for that. So let's dive in and have a look through this last delivery. So, issue 89 brings us Kyria Draxus. I must admit, she's a character I've been meaning to pick up for some time, and getting it here is pretty cool. Can't wait to build and paint her. We get Illuminor Szeras, probably not my favourite Necron character. I mean, his original model was kind of cool, and the colour scheme I'll be doing was his original colour scheme, which is just the Saltec green. So, really cool model though, must admit. He's going to be a joy to paint. He'll probably be equal to Illuminor in level of detail. Then, 87... and 88, the final part of our Redemptor Dreadnought, so we can get this guy on the battlefield and punching up as much damage as possible. So, let's start at 88. We'll go vertical, and we'll start looking through these issues. Also included was, of course, a thank you letter. So this is just a thank you for subscribing to Imperium. Hope you've enjoyed it, and you're aware this is the end of the collection. Should you wish to make any back orders, go to Hachette, email or call the customer service team. I'd probably suggest calling or emailing would be better, because they might be able to help you with ordering certain issues, especially issues that might be out of stock. They might know a little bit more about if they're getting a few extra, if they've had a back order or something coming in. So they'll tell you more detail over the customer service. And of course, there's a brand new collection which we already know of. It's Stormbringer. So yeah, there we have it. Right then, let's start with 87. So as usual, we'll run through these quickly. So let's get it started. So our frame is the main body, the hip joints there, shoulder pads, the feet, part of the legs. So not, again, a lot we could build out of this one frame if you were picking it up in shops. You could probably put together the hip setup, but you are missing a few components. You can have one set of the rings, I believe, that go around the legs, so you are missing the other half, which is on the other frame. But yeah, you still got a good amount of components on here either way. In the magazine then, we got a brand new story, more about Tyranids. I wonder why we're looking at Tyranids a lot lately. And of course the campaign continues. So we got background on the Sabbath's World campaign. So yeah, pretty cool campaign. It's probably one of the most popular campaign, the Sabbath's books by Dan Abnett. Are pretty cool. I've got a couple of them. I haven't exactly read them all the way through, but they are cool. You've got some nice characters in there. Of course, Abraham Gaunt, I believe it is Gaunt. Yes. Colonel Commissar now, Abraham Gaunt. And his Last Chances. Oh, the Ghost, sorry, not Last Chances, it's the Ghost. Last Chances is another Commissar character. Yeah, pretty cool. We got a little bit of information about all the individual ghosts themselves, including a Cyber Eagle, the Tanef Regiment Bagpipes. So yeah, Tanef First and Only are a pretty cool regiment. They are literally the first and the only regiment raised on the planet of Tanef. And yeah, they're very guerrilla focused. They wear a lot of dark clothes, camo cloaks, pretty up close and personal. They will sometimes bring in heavy weapons, like Bragg here. He carries a missile launcher. We got Lark in there, who's a sniper. Yeah, pretty cool. Nice. You also got some models in the model range. So if you do fancy building and painting these guys, pick them up. We got a little bit about their enemies here. So the Chaos Command forces. So you got, looks like one for every side of the Chaos Pantheon, plus a more focused, undivided sort of follower. And the Blood Pact, who is a set of corn worshipping cultists. Background then for the Fulminators chapters. So these are an Ultima Founding chapter, fully Primaris, as all Ultima Founding chapters are, and successors of the Ultramarines. We also have background on the firm adherence to the Codex, the Howling Griffins. So again, another Ultramarines founding chapter, but this is one of the older founding chapters. Pretty cool. They're pretty ferocious. They have a lovely quartered colour scheme, so their right leg and left arm's red, their left leg and right arm is yellow. And of course they have the griffin as a chapter symbol. Really cool colour scheme. I did quite a few years ago a chapter which is a fairly similar colour scheme. It was actually quartered bone and red. I did it with a few friends. We each did a company each, but sadly a lot of us lost interest partway through and we never got around to finishing that project. I was having really good fun though, creating characters and stuff for it, but yeah. So next up, we have more reports for the Tyranids. This is how they devour the worlds. So the feeder beasts, such as the Ripper Swarms, the Haruspecs, the Pyrovore, and the remains of what is left, which, as you can see, is not a lot. Tyranid capillary towers, and pretty much the ruins of any civilization on a planet. So yeah. Of course, Tyranids are, of course, the main faction focus for 10th edition, so this is leading us up nicely to that, which is pretty cool. Then we've got a short story all about the Ascension. Basically a Chaos Sorcerer or Chaos Aspiring Champion who is looking to raise himself to demonhood. And this tells the pros and cons, basically, of the path to demonhood. You could, of course, end up being a spawn instead of a demon prince. So yeah, it's not the most safest of paths to follow. Speaking of building, though, we have our build guide for the Redemptor Dreadnought. So there's a lot of parts you want to make sure you don't glue, so you can leave them interchangeable or maneuverable, so you can have some moving components on your tank, on your Dreadnought. So we've got the front plate for the sarcophagus here. You want to make sure you can leave that. You can glue it, of course, if you want, but it's cool if you can leave it loose. Your front pintle weapons, or not pintle weapons, but your front weapons here, the storm bolters or missile launchers, whichever you go for, you can leave to rotate as well. The hip and leg articulation, they're designed to rotate around the axis there. And you can, of course, leave this front panel loose as well, so you can lift it up to reach all your detail underneath. So, of course, the magazine will tell you to build it only one particular way. But there is, of course, weapon options. We have the heavy Gatling, but we're shown how to use the Plasma Exterminator, which I think will probably be the better weapon. And we're using the Gatling cannon, that there is the option for the heavy flamer. So yeah, really cool. And then pushing all the final components together. So what I will suggest is don't glue this bit in. That is a fairly tight fit, or it was on my previous Redemptor I built. So you can easily make it interchangeable between the two weapon options. So yeah, pretty cool way of doing things. But you leave your arms loose. It does help for storage. I will say I'm really glad that I have my Redemptor Dreadnought. I had got the push fit one, which you can leave loose here. There's no need to glue it. It has a peg and socket connection here. And being able to take the torso off, take the arms off, it really helps with transport. Torso will go into 2 slots of infantry figures. The arms will go into 1 each, and the legs will just sit and hang over the foam tray I use. But when built up, you have it there, and it even shows the alternate build as well. Finally then, defending Gliantha as our mission. 75 power, so huge push against the Necrons. So we got a gaseous haze to deal with. And we got our capture and control as usual with 5 objectives fighting over. Alright then, issue 88. So in 88 we get, of course, our 100mm base for our Dreadnought. And the final components. So yeah, there's the other halves of those. All our pipes, the 2 halves of the legs, the arm sockets there, and the bottom half of the torso. So yeah, we can finally build it now that we have all 3 frames. So, in issue 88, we've got our paint and play article for the Dreadnought. We got a story for the Dreadnought, and we got some more articles on saving heroes. So we start off with Arjak Rockfist, who is pretty much 4, really. He has the ability to throw and recall his hammer. He is the Anvil of Fenris, chosen champion of Logan Grimnar. So the one bit I didn't know is that he was once a... what was it? Yeah, he was once a Iron Priest, who was a Tech Marine, basically, for the Space Wolves. But he never really fitted in with the whole fixing things sort of thing. He liked to smash rather than mend. So Logan Grimnar eventually came to aid the Iron Warriors, Iron Priests who were in trouble, and he sought Arjak's true calling as his ultimate champion. So he now has a Thunderhammer, which he has the ability, as I've mentioned, to throw and call back to him, and he has a Storm Shield, which is a rather faux hammer. He's oversized Thunderhammer. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, he's like 4. Then we have Harald Deathwolf, the Lord of the Wolfkin and head of the Deathwolves Great Company. So yeah, they have an affinity for riding the native wolves of Fenris. And they will even utilize cyber wolves and attack wolves, etc. in their battle forces. Moving on then, we've got more information on the Tyranids, and this focuses on the different weapons they have. So not a lot to see there, but we do have the basic weapons that the Tyranid Gaunts wield. So Flesh Boar is the standard weapon. They could also take a Devourer or paired Spine Fists. Then we've got a couple of weapons that the Warrior class wield. So they've got Rending Claws, which is also seen and used by the Gene Stealers. Bone Swords, again, used mainly by warriors, but also by the higher ranking Hive Tyrants. And Scything Talons, which are a basic bony scything sort of a weapon, even seen on the lowly Hormagaunts. Moving on to Obelisk and Lyrak Phase 5. So the forces are ever pressed. Fabricate General Klang's forces are ever pressed against the forces of Typhus's Death Guard. There are, of course, various other factions in play. Forge Lord Deimos has even put in forces now. House Raven, the Chaos other forces, Imperium other forces, the Death Guard, and the Orcs. And yeah, the Fate of Metallica and the Endings and Beginnings. So yeah, this basically finishes up the final fight for Metallica itself. Our short story then focuses all on what it is to be a Space Marine Dreadnought. So it's a nice long story, and there's some awesome artwork. We see an apothecary trying to aid his fallen brethren while also fending off the enemy. We've got some classic artworks here of Dreadnoughts. Look really, really cool. We've got an Archangel one there, Ultramarine one there, and the standard pattern of Dreadnought that the Space Marines have used between the Heresy and now. Fairly newer, but this one shows regular Dreadnought, a Venerable Dreadnought, and one of my personal favourites, the Ironclad Dreadnought, which has extra armour plating, has 2 melee weapons, plenty of guns, missiles. It's pretty nasty little walker. I love that guy. But the Venerable Dreadnought, the new kit, does look really fantastic. I've built quite a few in my time. Plan on picking one up for my Grey Knights, as well as a standard box Naught, which is getting the update with the Redemptor chassis in the new Leviathan box for 10th. And just when you thought it was safe to stay at home, we have Warzone Terra. So, yeah, this covers the Genestealer infestation on Terra, the home, of course, of the Imperium and the Emperor. And this puts the forces of the... what was it? Man, my brain's not working today. Custodian Guard. There we go. So yeah, the Adeptus Custodes, the Sisters of Silence, facing off against the Pauper Princes of the Genestealer cults. So Trajan Valorous, Captain General of the Adeptus Custodes, leads the fight against them. And of course, this was a battle box not too long ago, bringing us the Saboteur and the new Blade Warden for the Custodes force. So yeah, pretty cool. Can't wait to read all this. Then we got our paint guide. So we're painting the entire model with Abaddon Black, picking out the silver details of Leadbelcher, Picking out all their armor panels with Macragge Blue, gold details with Retributor armor, Runelord Brass on some of the other metal details to help break things up, Rakar Flesh on any scroll work, Mephisto on red for cables and any little bits of rope, like on the laurels there. Corax White for pipes and lenses and the Cog Mechanica symbol, as well as the laurels, which again we're doing the Tesseract Glow thing, but they are only using paints in the collection. If you have another green, I prefer Warp Lightning. Nice little contrast paint, perfect little green. Then we're using Nuln Oil to shade pretty much all over the model, except for the Runelord Brass areas, which get Cryptek armor shade, and the Retributor armor gets Right Flesh shade, while Agrax is used on the pipes and the parchments. Then we're highlighting, so we're starting with highlighting the black and the silver. Then we relayer with Macragge Blue on the larger panels before edge highlighting with Carragher Blue. Wild Rider Red is used to highlight the red areas. Rakar Flesh is used to relayer, and then Palagwitch Flesh is used to highlight the scrollwork areas. Ural Yellow is used for the lights, followed by White Scar highlight. Then we're doing our Hazard Stripes, which is pretty cool. Nice little tutorial there to help bring out more details. And then finishing off is our usual basing, so applying Astro Granite, letting it dry, and then dry brushing it. And then we have our finished model, and it shows you have movable components. Kind of don't see the point in these bits being movable because you're gluing the leg in position, but it is what it is. So moving on, finally for this issue we have War on Dajala. So another 75 power, the Emperor protects. So again we got the capture and control. And we also have a couple of secondary objections, so destroying the idols. So the Necron player must choose destroy idols for their secondary objective. And basically they're trying to destroy any remnants of Imperial iconography. And of course we know what's in the next two issues, Draxus and Illuminor Szeras. So speaking of Draxus, here we have issue 89. Oop, come on, out of the bag. So we got a fold out for this issue. And there we have Kyria Draxus herself, a rather nice model, some nice detail. I'm looking forward to seeing how they paint her and whether they tell us to leave any sub-assemblies. But she's a nice, fairly open model, so we can probably get away with building her all in one piece. So yeah, really cool. 32mm base, of course. And yeah, let's take a look. So we got our battle record for Kyria Draxus. So much like our premium kits version for Greyfax, we got a tick off area of why she's in the area. So we got Shatter the Court, so killing Overlord's bodyguard, so destroying 5 Lich Guard. Eliminate their elite 3 Necron Nobles or Crypteks. And Rest Control successfully used Dominate Psychic Power on a Necron Noble. Also have Drive them back, so dominate the battlefield. So end the game, end 3 games within range of an objective. Pretty easy if you can start her off on an objective. Lead from the front, make 5 successful charges with her. And break the phalanx, destroy 10 warriors and or immortals. So pretty cool. And she also has a Psychic Assault, so smite them all! Destroy 10, inflict 10 wounds with smite. So it doesn't have to be individual models, it's 10 wounds, so you can do it on various individual models or over a course of a game. Bend them to your will, successfully use Dominate, and Head of the Snake, slay any character with a psychic power. So our new war zone then for Orgvair. So the emergence of Great Rift shook the Leagues of Votan to their foundations, so this focuses on the greater leagues. And Utar the Destined, one of the greatest heroes of the Greater Furion League. Yeah, nice little bit of information about the newest faction to the Warhammer range, which is the Cause of Leagues of Votan. We got a nice story here which features Kyria Draxus and, by the looks of things, our next model. So yeah, Illuminor Szeras and Kyria Draxus fighting it off over a nice short story. There she is at the head of an Imperial force. We got a mixture of units, some Death Watch there, some Mechanicum, and some Battle Sisters. So building her. So yeah, it looks like we are building her pretty much all in, yep, a single model, and painting her pretty straightforward as well. So pretty cool. So once you're built, just paint her with Abaddon Black, pick out all the silver areas of Lead Belcher, Corax White on the wings, the little pipe, her head and the Shuriken pistol there, Runelord Brass on the Inquisition icons and details on the Shuriken pistol, Rakoff Flesh on the skull and the shoulder pad, her Purity Seal and her cloak, Screaming Pink on the Purity Seal wax, Mephiston Red on the outside of the cloak, Macragge Blue on her little dragon. Excuse me. Then we're shading Nuln Oil all over those previously painted areas. Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss over any Runelord Brass areas, and White and Flesh Shade over her face. With Agrax Earth Shade finally on the red and the bone details. Next we're picking up Mechanica Standard Grey, so picking up the joints in the armour there, and the fangs on the skull. Using Calgar Blue to highlight her armour, so that's pretty cool. It's a nice way of doing it. I'd prefer to probably use a more greeny blue, so I'd probably use something like Sotek Green, or possibly even Cabalite Green, just to have a similar sort of colour scheme to how she looks there. But yeah, go around the model picking out with Calgar Blue first, then Stormhost Silver on all the metallic areas, Rakoff Flesh relayering the cloak and Purity Seal before Pallid Witch Flesh highlight. Then we're using Pallid Witch Flesh to pick out her face and details on the skull, Pink Horror on the Purity Seal, relayer Mephiston Red, then Wild Rider Red for the cloak. Then we're re-picking out the wings for Corax White before a highlight of White Scar, and Calgar Blue on Shang there. Painting her eyes, the eye on Shang, and any, of course, Hazard Strike cables, which we're picking out as we have done previously. And there she is. That is a really nicely done model, I think. Not too bad. I enjoyed the paint guide for Greyfax, so I might follow this paint guide. It was a pretty well done one. Excuse me. So, we got her datasheet, of course. So, Dire Singer, her Shuriken pistol, and she has a Power Fist. So, we got the abilities. So, she has Quarry, so we choose a enemy depending on the order you're in. So, in order melees, you have to choose a Chaos or Demon enemy. Order Hereticus, a Chaos or Psyker. And Order Xenos, Chaos, Imperium, or Unaligned. So, you can even choose, wow, your people within your own faction. That's not very nice. I think that's meant to be possibly Xenos, I'm not sure. I think that might be a typo. Then she's got Unquestionable Wisdom, Paralysis Grenades, Refractor Field, the rules for Shang there. So she's a Psyker, she has Smite and Dominate, can manifest 1 and deny 1. So yeah, pretty cool. And her command trait is a Radical. So once per battle, you can reroll a hit roll, wound roll, damage roll, saving throw, psychic test, or deny the witch test. Pretty cool. And we got a little tutorial there on her paralysis grenades and the dominate psychic power. Then we got our void battle, another void battle, should I say. So we've had one previously in the actual missions. So we are returning to space to take on a Necron ship. 75 power again over all 4 mats. And central objectives, that's pretty much all we've got to fight over. And then, of course, our final issue is Illuminor Szeras. So we have a fold out, a system at war. So this focuses more and more on the actual collection itself. So we got Hobby Decision Makers, pretty cool. So select the faction you want, select where you want to go. Have you built the full collection for this faction? That's pretty cool. Nice little way to help you get things done if you are a little bit behind. That's a nice little addition to the collection. So, have you recorded the names? No, get ahead and do it. So go through your collect articles and fill them out. If you have, go ahead and read some information. So that's pretty cool. We also have a little bit of text there for an Imperium victory, and text there for a Necron victory. And if we open it up that way around, we've got the Space Marine staring off against the Necron. That's really quite nice. I mean, I'll be tempted to fold that in half. That looks really cool. And frame it. But there we have it. That's that. And finally then, we got issue 90. Right, our very final issue. So again, we've got a nice big base. It's not as big as the Dreadnoughts, so it's probably the same as Guilliman's. So possibly an 80, maybe even 90 mil. Find out in the instructions, I don't know what I'm guessing. And we have our frame with Illuminor Szeras on, and there's some amazing detail on here. So we've got the poor Navy, Imperial Navy pilot there, who's getting his matter rearranged. Lovely detailing for the base. Now, all these extra little arms that he has, he's upgraded his body to insane levels. You got his awesome weapon. I'm going to look forward to painting this because I'm actually going to paint it how the original model was done, which has orange for the blades on the weapon. That's going to be pretty interesting. I will actually quickly go and get the magazine and I'll show you how I'm going to paint him in just a sec. So let's start going through the magazine. So let's start going through issue 90. Not a lot in this issue, surprise, surprise, because it's going to be pretty dedicated to the painting. So we've got, of course, our battle record for Illuminor Szeras. And he's got pretty much the same sort of thing our Inquisitors have had as his main character. So he's got tick-off charts for defeating the enemy, experimenting, and taking more and more ground and expanding his control. So next up then, we're straight into our build guide. So do take care, there's lots of fragile components, should I say, in this kit. Take care clipping them off and cleaning them up. And pay close attention to your build guides, as parts do lock together in specific ways. Yeah. Dry fit both arms before you lure him in, so it takes plenty of care with doing his arms. We have a couple of sub-assemblies here, looks like, by the looks of things. So the hand and wrist mounted device are tricky to slot together. Take your time working out where the components connect before you apply your glue. So again, just pay close attention before you do anything. Here's pretty more obvious how it attaches, so that's not too bad. Then we're building up his back detailing before we finish off his last leg, which is pinning down that poor Imperial Navyman. And he's getting his matter rearranged. Not very nice, poor guy. Then we glue him down, so it looks like 80 mils, same as Guilliman. Gluing them all down, or doing it by the looks of things as a single model. So there's no sub-assemblies. I might do the arms as a sub-assembly, just to make reaching some of the detail. I'll see how I get on when building him. And then quickly we go for our paint guide. So yeah, much the same as painting all our other Necrons for the collection. So Runod Brass, Known Oil, Viking Flesh Shade, Cryptek Armor Shade, Tesseract Glow, Corax White. And we've got a nice tutorial here on how to get a really nicely done. Wow, that is really cool. So yeah, base coating the entire area screaming pink, mixing pink horror and powdered witch flesh to blend into a lighter colour. For applying Nuln oil, white and flesh shade on the lower part here, giving it a bit more of a fleshy warm tone. And then we're highlighting pink horror, powdered witch flesh, finally Corax white on the guy himself. That's really cool, actually. That's nicely done. And yeah, picking out all the detail on our poor guy. There's lots and lots of detail. And yeah, we're even picking out his eyes. Poor bloke. Wow, yeah. They've really done a good job on this paint guide. And yeah, we base him much the same as we've done with all our previous models. After the Guilliman paint guide, I'm starting to base a lot on my models before I even prime them so that I can easier tie in the colours. So I'll probably do that to this guy. And then I can blend in the texture to the stone a lot more than having it 2 different shades of grey. But yeah, before we get into his rules, I will show you how I'm going to be painting mine. We'll zoom in a bit. But yeah, that is the original Illuminor Szeras model. As you see, he's got this orangey, dark, almost dark red sort of energy glow to his weapon. And yeah, he's much the same, but he's definitely a lot bigger than he used to be. But he's basically just got 4 legs, then his arms. And he's just picking apart a Eldar head, seeing what bits work which way. Like, so that's what a throat looks like. Yeah, he's a really cool model. Never got the original model because it's Finecast and me and Finecast aren't very good friends. But this one is definitely a better upgrade and I'm going to have fun painting it. And a little sneak peek here at 2 of my other favourite Necron characters, Nemesis Zandrek and his bodyguard, Vargard Oberon. So yeah, these guys are pretty much second in command of the Cryptek dynasty, because we've got Overlord, I forgot his name already, Imhotep, who is the Pharaon or overall leader of the Cryptek dynasty. So yeah, really good White Dwarf. If you want to pick it up for yourself, it's 389 from 2012. So yeah, really cool. So yeah, his rules then. We've got an Eldritch Lance and he's impaling legs. Living metal, as usual, he has rites of reanimation, so same as the Technomancer we have. We got an Empiric Overcharger, which knackers Psychers by the looks of things. Atomic Energy Manipulator, and he's got his augmentation, so and if you move and facing, select a Necron core unit within 6 inches, roll a d3, and then we get a bonus for the turn. And each unit can only be selected once per battle. And then we've got the Illuminor rule, so this model can use its rites of reanimation ability 1 additional time per turn. So sweet, you can restore 2 units each turn as opposed to 1. So you can only target 1 unit each time. Then we got tutorial for Empiric Overcharger and the mechanical augmentation ability as well. And then finally, we're on our final battle, so we're returning to Karam's Skull for the campaign's finale. And this is the assault on the pylon. And we got pretty strange setup. So Necrons have 85 power, but the Imperial get 100. So that's, wow, okay, a bit odd. I suppose it's the Imperium now having the eliminated majority of the Necron force. They have a slight advantage, just guess. Plus it gives us a chance to take Guilliman again. But he can be using 75 power, but he does eat up a big chunk of the points. So in this mission, a Necron player is a defender. The total power rating of a Necron player army must not exceed 85. As the game progresses, the pylon edges closer to the completion and the attacker's army suffers the following effects. So battle round 1, -1 leadership, battle round 2, -1 move, battle round 3, -1 to advance and charge rolls, battle round 4, -1 attack to a minimum of 1, And Battle Round 5, -1 toughness. Ooh. So primary objectives, we have capture and control as usual. And yeah, so it's a pretty cool mission. Defend the Resonator and the final assault. Yeah, pretty cool. We got that Pope. We got some awesome artwork from the Indomitus box, the Overlord against the Lieutenant there. Looking really cool. And on the back we have pretty much the front cover of every issue. And just another congratulations, you've completed the collection. So I'll bring everything in and I'll give you my final thoughts on this final delivery. So there we have it. It is the end of an era in Indomitus, pretty much. Yeah, we've had a good, fun run with this magazine series. We've had some ups and downs. I've actually pretty much painted everything. Just got these last 10 issues to work my way through. But all in all, I really enjoyed it. I will be doing a separate video on the collection as a whole later on, once I've obviously gone through everything and giving my overall final thoughts on the full collection. But as the delivery goes, this is a pretty good one. I know we've had to wait a month to get the rest of the Dreadnought, but the wait is definitely worth it. Can't wait to build this guy and have him stomping and blasting the Necrons. We get some awesome characters. We get Kyria Draxus, who, as I've mentioned, is a model I've been planning on picking up for a while. Nice to actually have her, and I'll be looking forward to painting her. And like I said, Illuminor Szeras, I'm going to be painting up in that classic Illuminor Szeras scheme, just so it ties in with the rest of my Necrons, as he's not really tied to the Zarek dynasty, although he is pretty much the Stormlord, the Silent King's right-hand man. It is thanks to Szeras that the Necrons got the update that they have, pretty much. It's his experiments and machinations that created the new races, or the new different units and warriors within the Necron ranks. And of course, it was thanks to him that the Silent King has his awesome floating throne of death. So really glad we didn't get the Silent King, and I'm glad they gave us this guy, because I think the Silent King would be a bit of a daunting model to actually do. This guy's not too bad. All in all then, I think this is a solid 5 out of 5 delivery. Great content, loads of awesome lore, loads of build paint guides, fantastic plastic. Nothing to really sniffle at this. So there we have it. That is the final delivery for Imperium. What do you guys think of it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to let me know what you think of the collection as a whole. Have you enjoyed it? Have you not enjoyed it? Do you wish there's some different things? Do you wish we focused only on 2 factions as opposed to 4 effectively? Did you like how the magazine series went? Have you enjoyed all my videos up to this point? And are you looking forward to how I do the campaign battles? Let's have a friendly little conversation down below and, yeah, see how things go for the future. So for the future though, I'm not too sure if they're going to be doing another 40k one. There's been a lot of talk about a possible Horus Heresy one, though I don't see that happening this year or next year, maybe 2025, once they've got a few more plastic kits out, because I know next year and throughout the rest of this year we are going to be getting a few more Horus Heresy plastic infantry kits, so they might be doing a magazine series once we get those. We'll have to wait and see. It's a long way off either way, but we still of course have Stormbringer. I'm really surprised I haven't received Stormbringer at the same time as this, but I think it's not going to be shipped until the end of this week. So I knew this was coming because it had changed over on the my account page. But yeah, that's the end of this video. So thank you all for watching. If you think I deserve it, please give this video a like, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to, of course, like and share the video as well to all your social medias. This will be, of course, linked up to the Warhammer's Imperium magazine page. So if you haven't watched it, you will be watching it now, most likely. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.